Hi, I'm Tami Utley. Today we're going to be doing a buttercream iced cake, and I'm going to show you how to do some royal icing, curved hearts on that cake. Few Lambeth techniques that are very simple, and I'm also going to show you how to two-tone, put a stencil on this cake and two-tone it. So it's going to have one color on the bottom and another, and the white on the top. Just a very simple cake. Some of the things that we're going to need is we're going to need some buttercream icing. I'm going to be using just a teeny tiny bit of sky blue or electric blue. This is Americara Electric Blue, but some other brands is sky blue. It's just a very light blue. You can use just a teeny tiny bit. We just want a light blue on this. Okay, some of the tips we're going to use, I have a 125 tip. You can see it's like a large rose tip. It's larger on the top and skinnier on the bottom. I'm also going to be using a 104 rose tip, which is the same except smaller. Okay. And then I also have a tip 14, which is a star tip. I'm going to need some sort of round tip. This happens to be a number 5, but we can use any size we want, and I'll probably adjust it as I go, but I'm going to start with a number 5. I think that's going to be a good size. We need to make some flowers, so I want to do quick flowers. Normally when I do this kind of a project, I would use a 101S, a very small, make one petal at a time. That's the traditional way to do it. However, I want to work a little faster, so I'm going to use a 225, and that is a drop flower tip. See, it does all 5 petals at once, and I'll show you the technique of how we make those. Oh, I'm going to need a tip number 2, which is another round tip for the center of these flowers. And then the leaves are going to use a small leaf tip. Now we can cut our bag, or you can use, this is a 349 tip. It looks kind of like a bird's beak. You can see it's kind of pointed and got a hollow center there. Let's see if we can get something white on here so you can see it. There we go. It looks kind of like a bird's beak. I have 2 of them here. I don't know which one I'm going to use, so I'll let you know. This is a 199 and this is a 172. I don't know which one I'm going to use yet. I haven't decided, so I will let you know. Okay, and then I've got a couple couplers. I never use couplers when I use something smaller than a 14 or smaller. I don't use couplers. I just use these small bags. It's better on your hand and you have better control. But for the bigger tips, I'm going to use some of the couplers so I can trade them out because I'm going to be using the same color. Okay, I'm going to need some bags, and what I did is this is a 12-inch bag, and I just cut it in half to get these smaller bags. And again, the smaller bags is so your hand doesn't get tired, better control of when you have to use anything 14 or smaller, better control. And then I have some paper. This is just basic printer paper, just white paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a stencil out of it to go around our cake. I'm going to show you how to do that. This is 11 by 14. This is an 8-inch cake. So I want to make sure that I'm going to tape 2 of them together. It can reach around my cake. Okay. And then I have this is a 2-inch styrofoam ball, and I cut it in half, just with a serrated knife. You just cut right through it. Okay. And I've got my spatulas. I've got some buttercream. This is a flower former. This is a medium-sized flower former. It really doesn't matter if you use a medium or a large. It just means you'll have a little more curve. If you don't have a flower former, you can use any kind of a curve, including like a paper towel roll that you cut in half, or anything else with a curve, you know, that's on it. I have some hearts that I drew out, and these hearts, you know, I just took a cookie cutter and traced around a cookie cutter, but I will give this template to the YummyArts people so that they can put it on the video. Okay, and then I also have some royal icing. I have a couple different colors. I used, again, that sky blue or electric blue, a little bit of lemon yellow, and a little bit of leaf green. Those are just the 3 colors I'm using on this cake. Let's see, some toothpicks. I think that's about it. I think we're ready to go. So what I have here is I have an 8-inch cake that is already iced in buttercream that is on a 12-inch board. And what I need to do is already have my cake iced so that I can make the template to go around it so that I can stencil the bottom half another color. Okay, and I want to do a scallop for that bottom half. So I want the color to do the scallopy thing. So I have also a cake divider here. You certainly don't need one. I just had it because I wanted to go on here. Let me move this so you can see it. I wasn't sure how big I wanted my scallops. You can do it with paper, or if you have one of these, it just makes it easier. So I just set it on here and I'm like, okay, well, you know, it's got numbers on here and it tells me if I want to divide it into 6 pieces, 6, let's see, there's a 6 there, there's a 6 there, you know, okay, so my scallop will be about that big. If I want to do in 8s, there's an 8 and an 8, so it'd be a much smaller scallop, you know, 8 and an 8, that's a lot smaller. So you can decide what size you want. I know for an 8-inch cake, I always like to divide it in 6. That's perfect for me. So I know I'm going to divide this in 6s. So when I make my stencil, that's what I'm going to do.